Did you see Joker?
Yeah,
I just have to talk about it because I love the film. I really love Joker. What did you think about Joker?
honestly, yeah, no, I think it was a good film. And I think definitely within the boundaries of the whole DC universe and Gotham universe, like they did well. I mean, but like you said, it's more like a character development thing where you're actually inside his head more than this is an action shot. Like this is da da da. He's getting shot. Oh yeah, this is a nice slow mo. This that. Like it was very slow, and like you could see the progression. But I feel like I said they could have used the directing to really emphasize like some of the points, like the way his mind was cracking. Like maybe
Right.
if like you have certain things where you got a scene and it's showing like really sharp jerked and jarring like flashbacks or something. Like, so you can see like he's thinking about this all stuff, but like his mind's just getting fucked. But like the way they directed it as well was still good, and I think the acting after cause what's the name again?
Well, Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. He was deep still.
Yeah.
He's deep. Like if you ain't watched it, yeah, he's deep.
What I would say is that okay, fair enough. I do definitely hear what you're saying, and I do agree with a lot with what you're saying. But at the same time, I feel like that film, while you're watching the Joker and you're watching the acting and you're focusing on him, there's a whole sort of outside theme, like a whole theme of the film. Like, first of all, whether he's mentally ill or whether he's not mentally ill, like that's up for the viewer to decide. But at the same time, this is a bit of a spoiler. A little bit of a spoiler. I mean, it's not really a big spoiler, but a little bit. Revolution came in the end. I mean, look, in a time where the wealthy were stepping on the necks of the rich, calling them clowns, just every negative reference you could think of for poor people, It just wasn't good. Times were not fair. People losing their jobs, people losing their assistance, their help. Everything's going down the drain for people. It only takes one, like I say, up for the viewer to decide whether he's crazy or not. One guy to do something and then do another thing,
And it sparks like a chain reaction.
and it just starts like a chain reaction. People start getting the balls. People start getting people have the testicular fortitude to stand up and do something. Where did I get that from? I got that from Louis Farrakhan.
Testicular fortitude.
They have the guts to actually stand up and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm not trying to deal with this. I don't like the way I'm being treated. I'm standing up and I'm here to make a change. And I mean, I don't know about this country. I don't know how often that happens in this society, but around the world, it is something. It is when like I said, when people's necks are being stepped on, it only takes one thing to lead to another thing to lead to another. Maybe 3 reactions for it to spark a massive, larger reaction. And yeah,
You know who comes to mind?
Go on.
Mr. Farage.
Oh, the Brexit party.
The Brexit party.
Like,
I'm not
is he the Joker? Is he the
motherfucking.
That's what I'm saying. It's up to the viewer to decide whether he's mentally ill or not.
Oh shit! It's true though. It's true
Because he's coherent, but there's a lot of. Again, today I was on the bus and there was a man who was having a full-fledged conversation with himself. Like, he was chatting with his boy about work and he was just talking to himself. He was just there. This was in Tottenham as well. Like, he was just chatting to himself. So, the loonies out here, the loonies are very coherent. Ooh.
Oh shit!
See?
Oh my days. Yeah, listen, man is a joke. They've already made him look like a joker, man.
Listen.
Oh man, Mr. Farage.
No,
but he did start a revolution, man.
He did.
I think he spearheaded the whole sort of Brexit movement, and all it took was one man from the BNP to come through and be like, "Hey, do you know what? I'm afraid of these immigrants just as much as you guys are, and you know what? We can take a stand. We can take Britain back." and all that did is start a whole.
But are you talking
fucking,
about Nigel Farage?
oh yeah,
No, he was a conservative. He used to be in the Conservative Party, but his passion has always been. I don't understand it as well because this guy he's a wealthy man. You know, his wife is not English. I think his wife is French or German or something like that. So his kids are not even completely English. Yeah, he really hates immigrants, or he professes to hate immigrants. He's like I say, he's wealthy. He's not he's made something of his life.
yeah.
What is he mad at? Like what system is it that he's really like that he's really ruined, that he's really disappointed
That's actually
in?
true. He doesn't actually have a personal like affinity or suggestion like to some of the problems that he's addressing.
Yeah, like if anything, he relates with the other side more.
Mr. Farage.
Oh whoa! I mean, like I said, Joker was somebody that was his neck was being stepped on his let's say his entire life.
It's true.
So I can understand that, but this is somebody who, like I say, he's a wealthy man. He's got great connections. Very, very, very rich people really like him, and they will fund whatever he's doing, whatever he's saying. So what's his real problem?
Yeah, he's just there to wow people up, man. Like I said, some people just there to watch the world burn, man. They don't want to do anything. They just want to stir some shit up and be like, aha,
Boy,
yeah, let's get these niggas angry, man.
boy.
But I think, like you said, he's been that match. He's been that spark of the match, which has triggered everything and been that whole domino effect. Because I think if he didn't spearhead the whole Leave campaign, do you think it would have picked up the traction?
No.
Who else was there? There was
it
Boris.
was desperate. The Leave campaign desperately needed Nigel Farage. It wouldn't have worked.
It wouldn't have worked.
Otherwise,
It wouldn't have worked otherwise.
Everything to do, like everything he steps on, everything he touches turns to gold. I have to say it, like, you know, I'm not happy to say it, I'm not sad to say it, but I just have to stand back and appreciate everything this guy stands on or touches, you know, everything he's involved in, it works somehow.
Yeah, because he's tapped into that like inner insecurity of people, so they him for being able to protect that. He's like a beacon for them to be like, do you know what? I can have these thoughts and views, and someone will fight for them for me, basically. And
you know what? It doesn't really take much. He just needs to hop in a couple of pubs, couple times a month, drink beer, laugh like a madman with the locals, and that's out again. And
his laugh is jarring.
Continue back to his privileged life. Like, it doesn't really take him much to get these people on side. Which I guess that it's a testament to the level of desperation that people are going through, because like you say, it really doesn't take much for him to rile them up, for them to feel like he's on their side, you know. So yeah, I mean, I guess, but at the same time, you know, you can't really blame these people, because people put a lot of faith, in my opinion, incorrectly, in politicians. They like, it's just a thing. People put their faith in politicians, and when they get disappointed, they find it hard to deal with. They find it very difficult to deal with. So,
well, like I said, you know, I feel we need a revolution, but obviously the right revolution.
There's no such thing. I don't believe there's a such thing as a right revolution. When the revolution comes, you take it as it comes. You have to take it as it comes. That's true.
You can't choose a revolution.
No. And this is why, dare I say, this is the reason why the Holocaust, Hitler came along and managed to kill so many Jewish people, and you know, it's because the people want the revolution. But like I say, you can't always get the revolution that you want, or the fairest revolution. Revolution is gonna come, and people are gonna grab it or leave it when it comes, you know. And
that's true. It's
true. I feel like that's how it's been. But yeah.
But then, did you feel there's a bigger revolution coming up, like a global revolution almost? People talk about that a lot, like, the people are gonna stand up against government and this, that, and the other. But let's look at the actual reality of that happening. Is that an event? Is that an inevitability, or is that one of those things where it's wishful thinking for you?
Okay, I feel like in a place like America, where they don't like to have public, like, they don't like to spend their money. They don't really like to spend the public money on the people, really. Like, a lot of people, the system is kind of against that. I feel like that is more likely to happen, because people at the bottom don't necessarily get their basic needs. their needs are not met. You know, like some people get food vouchers, but people are even trying to stop all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when people are really, really poor, and more people start to feel the effects of absolute poverty, i.e., they don't get the food vouchers, so they don't get the food that they need. They don't get the level of education. They don't get the level of education that they need.
Yeah.
That's when I feel like people are more likely to revolt. But when, for example, in a country like our country, where there are benefits for people to deal with, and there are benefits. Like if you are struggling, you can go and collect food banks. There's these sort of resources for people that are struggling. I feel like it's much less likely because people will always have. I mean, someone might not call it. Someone might say it's not the bare minimum. Some might say it is. But some people, there is always like a safety net for people to land on. So regardless of the level of poverty you have, there's always going to be McDonald's. There's always going to be Poundland. There's always going to be this and that safety net. There's always going to be the NHS if you get sick. There's always going to be that. And once people have that, I feel like they are much less likely to revolt because they have at least some level of comfort.
Okay.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you think it's got to need to get worse?
It needs to get really, really bad. People need to really get fucked in order for them to.
That's true.
To stand up.
That's true.
Because a lot, like I said, like if you've got NHS, you've got benefits. You don't need to work. Just lie around, smoke your fags, eat them at these, and do nothing all day. Like people are not really bothered. They're not going to kick up too much of a fuss. All they're going to do is trouble bus drivers. And piss off public workers with by not raising their kids properly. But that's the worst. That's the worst that's gonna happen. That's the worst. That's really the worst thing that can happen in a society like this. It really takes true. I think in a true capitalist society, it can happen. People can really say, yeah, listen, I don't have anything. There's nothing for me to lose.
I think it's got to reach to that point where people got nothing to lose, and then you get a whole sort of revolution where people just dedicate their whole life into it.
So in that regard, I don't expect anything from my British counterparts. I'm just being honest.
We won't be attending the revolution.
I hope so. But yeah, I don't.
We'll just be sitting at home watching the live coverage from the BBC.
I can imagine it as well.
Laughing, but it's probably true, man.
Yeah. They're gonna goggle box that shit.
Yeah. Oh my days. But I mean, like you said, I don't think it's that bad. People like to complain and be like, oh, we ain't got control or say of things that even if you did have control or say over, you wouldn't do shit with. And like, even when people are like, oh, with my data and stuff, obviously, yes, it will get to a point where they've used your data and stuff like that. And I think you need to kind of also educate people on how big data works, because a lot of people don't understand what you can do.
What do you mean?
Because you know how people feel a type of way about their data being used by big companies.
Oh, yeah.
But I think people need to understand. They need to also be educated on how big data works, because it's like, it's all these little strings of information that alone don't really mean anything, but together you can actually profile somebody quite detailedly. Yeah. And I think realistically, yes, there is that argument that people sort of can profile you and stuff like that, but it's one of them ones where it would only be people think of it as an issue just because they have the power to do things that they wouldn't be aware of or don't quite understand. But I don't think it's going to be super big of a deal. Obviously, I can be proven wrong. They might, I don't know, start using your data profile to influence your insurance quotes and stuff like that. And obviously, you get to a bit of a grey area.
They're going to use your data profile to create artificial intelligence that thinks like you, or this is me throwing out the maddest.
Start making AI copies of you.
Yeah. But look, that's another thing. Like when I look at the agenda of these big tech companies, again, like before we were talking about Twitter reinforcing people's beliefs in the echo chamber. When I see them doing things like that, it doesn't. I can't put it past. I won't put it past them to be using the big tech to try and replace people when you're trying to play them robots. 100%.
Like,
I can see it, you know.
Yeah.
If it happens, I'm not gonna be surprised. you
Yeah,
know.
that's the thing. I won't be surprised.
that's
I
the
can
way-
definitely see
I
like
put it like that.
an AI looking at tweets to know how people talk,
Yeah.
even with the
It's
collab.
happening. It's really
Yeah.
happening. It's actually going on in countries like Japan. Like it's out there in the open. You can see it in the news. In our country, not so much, but you can definitely
Yeah,
see
it's
it
gonna be
in places like Japan. AI is learning to play the highest difficulty piano pieces. They're learning to do all kinds of mad things. So
Do you think then that's gonna be it in the Western world that will cause a revolution when people are essentially replaced
even
by robots?
still, I don't know.
Even still, people are gonna be too
I don't know
comfy.
if people have the bollocks, man. I don't know if people have the bollocks.
Don't even know if they have the testicular
The
fortitude.
testicular foot. No. I'm hoping that they do, and you know, if there's a revolution, I'm gonna be right there. Like I'm involved in it. But as for now, I don't see anything happen. I see the status quo being followed as it is. I can't say for how long, but I feel like not enough is bubbling right now. You know.
That's true.
Not
I don't
enough is
not that I want it to. Obviously, like I like things to remain as stable as possible. Really.
Like, for me to say I'm disappointed with the way my life is going is not correct. It's wrong. Like a lot of people have disdain, but me, I feel very privileged. I'm very grateful for the life that I'm living, and
No, for real.
yeah, you know, I don't really have anything to complain about. I'm doing
That's
just
the
fine.
key, though, man. You need to be grateful, but with ambition. You
Yeah.
know? Have your dreams, have the things you want to aim for, but be grateful for the things you have. Like if you've got one or the other, then you're not gonna really. Like. Don't get me wrong. You can be grateful and have no ambition, and that's calm. But I think the other way around, having ambition and not being grateful, it's a sticky one still. Like I think realistically, like us already being brought up in the UK is when you compare it, like if you're looking at like statistical data, we're already doing miles ahead. Like our rock bottom is still higher than a lot of people's top notch.
Yeah,
Which is crazy.
yeah, definitely. Like people say, oh, they'd rather die than go broke. For me, that's a wild statement. That's a real wild statement. Like you'd rather die or go to prison than be broke. Being broke is just a circumstance, you know. You can change your circumstances if you have the mind and the passion. It's not hard, like, but people are really out here saying, yeah, they get their money and they say they rather die. I hear from a lot of US rappers as well. A lot of these American guys. I'd rather die than go broke. I don't support that message, man. That's sending a very, very negative message, like to these young kids listening. Like, there's no other way but to get this money and get this money by any means. You think this piece, you're worthless.
Might as well be dead.
You might as well be dead. No. I don't agree with that.
Obviously, yeah, that's a bit mad, but I think that's it's all well and good. We're talking about it, and obviously we think and think a certain way about it, but it's obviously not what the majority of people are thinking. That's not to say obviously that I don't want a fat chick, that I don't want money, but it's the bearing that obviously that has on your life kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'd be calm. Like obviously I've grown up in the hood, innit? And it's, you don't have everything.
No.
So it's one of them ones where I'm calm with not having everything.
I have the belief, and yet exactly, like it's not an issue to not have everything. And to be honest, if you want something, there are means of attaining it without stepping on everyone's foot. Like you can work and attain it. It's gonna take time, but you gain a lot. People don't like to think about the thing you gain from work. You gain that sort of mindset. You gain the idea of working in a group, working to achieve your dreams. That nothing's gonna happen with you just sitting on your backside. You start to get that level of that independent thinking, and people don't value those things enough, really. But that's me just going on. That's me going on negative one again.
No, definitely, I'd agree with that, man. Like, for real, it has. I mean, I don't want to be like slamming people and everything like that, but it comes to the point where, these things that you want or you define yourself by, like you do, like you said before, you need to just question them, innit? And be like, obviously, it appears that society favors people. This guy's getting a lot of likes for holding all these bills up to his mouth and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, but what bearing does that have on you, kind of thing?
It's mad, and people treat those things like this is what my man does on a daily basis. That he just stands around with bills with bills around his mouth. No, he's doing this for you to see.
Oh, exactly.
He wants you to see what he's doing, so that it's not even a sense of you can aspire to what he's doing. I mean, there's a few people that might do it for that reason, but at the end of the day, I feel like people do that to make people jealous, to make people feel like people want to. A lot of people, like insecure people, want to feel like they are better than other people at the end of the day. So yeah,
because that's a reassurance to them.
Yeah, that's it, man. It's just a reassurance to these people.
Yeah, no, it's actually mad. And then obviously the people that are looking at this, like you said, they don't post these photos for the viewer to feel better about themselves.
I don't think they do.
I don't think they can. You can't be like, it's not like you. You can do it too. Come on, son. This can be you too. You just need to work hard for it and smile. No, obviously they're doing it, so you're looking at it and thinking, God damn.
That's it.
Niggas got all these racks and he's got enough time to be posing with them. Oh fucking shit!
Oh, wow, this really turned into no good ranting.
And a no good rant. It's actually true. We actually, no, I'm not gonna lie, we actually did go off on one.
Yeah.
Right now, but
you can't help it sometimes. Sometimes you see things and it's like, wow, really, really, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like there's so many amazing things happening. No good ranting. That's what it is. That's
what it is. That's what's gonna go down as that little no good ranting. Do you know we might even have a bit of this after every sort of episode or segment. We talk about topics. We talk about actual things that are going on, and then we rant about what these motherfuckers in life are doing. Just generally, just a vent or just an outlet or just to make a point. Really, obviously there'll be times where I would want to have a good news story or something because I know it's no good news in it, but there is good news, even though it's shrouded by a whole bunch of bullshit. But
yeah,
nice.
there are definitely good things going on, and we have to make more of an effort to find them. I don't think I make enough of an effort to find these positive stories that are happening. But you know what? From this moment, I make a solemn promise to hunt.
We'll have one positive story at the end.
Yeah.
Of each episode. We'll say, do you know what? But it's not all fucked because this, that. Yo, we can sell ads there. No, I'm not even. I'm thinking too far ahead. But what I'm trying to say is we could just add a little no good ranting thing where we just rip into people because I want to talk about stuff and we always try and remain. Oh, I don't even think we try and remain politically correct because fuck all that shit. But we always try and remain like neutral, biased, but fair. But sometimes we just need to go in on some people. Yeah, like. I'm never gonna lie. That Al Jazeera head to what's that guy's name? The president again?
Mehdi Hassan.
Mehdi Hassan.
This
guy gave this guy no breathing space, bro. Sometimes you just need to go in like that on people. Just give them no breathing space. Just point after point. I know you're trying to come back, bro, but I know you're trying to make a point, but I'm not gonna let you finish. Basically.
I hope that one day. I mean, I don't think I can get to that stage of debating, but one day we get to that point where we can bring people on and just start.
Well, just ripping,
pounding them with facts, and just seeing them sweat when they go out to the toilet. I want to see the sweat patch on the couch. I just want to see the pain and the struggle. I want to achieve that one day. That's the direction that we're heading here. Over here at No Good News.
Sweat patch on the couch.
Yeah, man, that would make my day, honestly.
No, but honestly though, man's just there deep in like, yo, I actually got out of my bed. I got ready for this, bro. And I'm sitting here and I'm getting grilled. I'm like, this is long. You're just there deep in like, nah, I didn't need to deep this. I didn't need to take this, bro. I didn't need to respond to this invite. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to cause some sweat patches on the seats, bro. Yeah. Just straight from grilling these people.
We'll get there.
But
anyway. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I thoroughly enjoyed ranting a little bit because you know what? Once twice a week, it's something that's necessary. You just need to voice the things that's going on, things that concern you to some degree, and it's healthy. It's healthy because there are a lot of people out there who could be feeling the same way. And they could, they might. A lot of people like to feel like they're not crazy. They're not the only people. that this is not only going on in my head, but other people are thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's actually weird as well because obviously, yeah, people want to feel like they're not crazy, but people want to feel like they're part of a clique. But then you also got the hipsters who want to feel disconnected. But is a hipster really a hipster? Yeah, if he's doing a thing on his own, like nobody's doing this but him, is he still a hipster?
Give me an example.
Like I don't know. Say for example, one guy just said, "You know what? I'm gonna start rocking a penny farthing. I'm just gonna start riding a penny farthing again for no reason." Is he a hipster at this point, or will he only be a hipster if there's a few other people riding penny farthings as well?
No. If he does it by himself, that's what makes him hipster. By that degree, I do. That's how sometimes I do see myself. Like I'll look at some of the things I do and be like, "Right, you're actually a hipster. Why are you doing that?" And sometimes I do things like just out of the norm.
Yeah.
Because I remember when we were in secondary school, like jack-ups are my thing. I used to rock jack-ups, and I used to rock jack-ups with brown socks, so it looked like I wasn't wearing any socks with jack-ups. Fast forward 5 years, everyone's doing this jack-up thing. You know what I'm saying?
The jack-up is
like,
true. Everyone's banging them.
I was proud of my jack-ups, man. I was proud of.
MJ made them alright for me, man. MJ made them alright for me. After MJ backed it, I was like, yeah, no, I could do this.
We were proud.
I could do this with the white socks as well. Come on, yeah.
Come on. Come on. How can you forget?
How can you forget? Oh shit.
Yeah, man. But on that note,
yeah, man, it's been good. Do you know what? Yeah, I think we should get like a tabloid as well and just start ripping into the headlines as well.
Do you want to just grab a copy of the Sun?
Copy of the Sun, because some of the articles
that's the easiest one.
That
Colleen and Rebecca Vardy thing has been it's interested me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I was
that white beef.
It's actually dumb. It's actually dumb.
But yeah, you know what? Next episode we grab a copy of the Sun and we see what kind of nonsense and spurious.
That's the thing, because I want to get down to the social issues.
Yeah.
Some people go through the most dumb shit. Like I don't want to talk necessarily about shit that's like sad or violent or anything like that, but just kalam.
Yeah.
Just stupid headline. And I think the sun is perfect for that.
Alright, let's do it.
But yeah, no, in conclusion to that, no good news / rant.
No good news.
And no good.
And we out.
Peace out.